Let Them Go to the Mountains. A story by T. Santoro. Chapter 1, Friday, the Break Room Breakdown. The hum of the vending machine did nothing to soothe the tension in the break room. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead like they too had been working overtime. Shelly slumped into a chair, tossing her ID badge onto the table. "I swear," she grumbled, "if another client emails me before Monday, I'm launching my laptop into the sun. Straight up solar therapy." Maria chuckled, leaning against the counter, stirring sugar into her tea like it owed her money. "It's been a week, all right? I'm halfway convinced the printer's possessed." Kira practically danced in. "Girls, I have the solution." Shelly squinted. "Please don't say yoga." "Even better," Kira said with a grin. "A tranquility retreat. In the mountains." Maria raised an eyebrow. "Tranquility?" Kira nodded, grabbing an apple. "Yeah, I overheard some folks in HR talking about it. Peaceful. Nature. Creekside cabins. No work. Just us and, well, tranquility." Shelly snorted. "I was gonna say tequila. But sure, let's swap happy hour for a hippie hour." Maria shrugged. "I mean, I'm not against it." Kira clapped her hands. "Yes, I knew you'd both be down. I booked a cabin. We can leave right after work." Shelly, already defeated by the week, muttered, "Fine. But I'm driving. That way, if this turns into a cult thing, I can escape with the car." Chapter 2, The Road to Nowhere, or so they thought. The warm spring breeze flowed through the cracked windows of Shelly's beat-up Jeep Wrangler. Music played softly in the background, a playlist that awkwardly shuffled between pop music and spa meditation tracks. Courtesy of Kira. Shelly rolled her eyes as wind tousled her hair. "Okay, so what exactly is this place again?" Kira, sunglasses on, leaned back. "Honestly, I didn't read the fine print. It just sounded peaceful. Trees, birds, vibes." Maria smirked. "That's how horror movies start." "Relax," Kira said. "Worst case scenario, we get a weekend without email. That's a win." The conversation drifted to old-time school dances. Summer camp. That time, Kira superglued fake spiders under Maria's desk. "I still hate you for that," Maria laughed. "I screamed so loud the principal called my mom." As the car climbed higher into the hills, conversation turned thoughtful. Maria, looking out the window, said softly, "You know, I've been reading that Mel Robbins Let Them thing. It's kind of freeing. Totally worth it." Kira grinned. Kira nodded. "Yes, let them think what they want. Let them walk away. Let them judge. I love it. It's like giving yourself emotional space." Shelly huffed. "Let them, please. If I let people do what they want, they'll walk all over me." Kira turned to her. "Or maybe they'll just reveal who they are. And then you choose how to respond," Maria added. "It's like that Abraham Hicks teaching. You know, the one channeled by Esther, which is kind of weird when you think about it. But Abraham says you can't control other people's vibrations. You can only raise your own." "Ah," Shelly said. "You two are drinking the woo-woo Kool-Aid." Kira smiled. "Let us." Shelly cracked a grin. That's when the gaslight came on. "You've got to be kidding me," Shelly muttered. "Let them run out of gas," Maria joked. "Not funny." Then came the elk. A massive beast sauntered across the road like a yoga instructor late for class. Shelly swerved, tires squealing. They missed the elk, but not the sharp rock on the shoulder. Thump, thump, thump. "Flat tire," Shelly groaned. Of course. They pulled over. Maria, surprisingly calm, got out and opened the trunk. "I've changed tires before. You two just chant or whatever." But as Maria pulled the spare tire out, it slipped from her hands and rolled downhill. All three stared after it. "Let it roll," Kira said, trying to keep a straight face. Maria shook her head, already walking after it. Chapter 3, The Wrong Retreat? Hours and one very muddy spare tire later, The trio laughed their way back into the car. Greasy, tired, but lighter in spirit. 20 minutes from the resort, Kira finally pulled up the website. "Let's see what we're actually doing this weekend," she said. Then silence. Guys?" Maria looked over. "What?" Kira read aloud. "The annual Stoic philosophy gathering at Creek Resort. Join thinkers, students, and teachers for an immersive weekend exploring logic, virtue, and the nature of the good life." Shelly nearly swerved again. "A Stoic what?" Maria leaned forward. "Wait, you booked us for Stoic camp?" Kira laughed nervously. "I thought it was a spa retreat. But this sounds kinda deep." Shelly blinked. "I thought I was getting a massage. Now I'm getting Marcus Aurelius." Kira shrugged. "Maybe this is the real tranquility." Chapter 4. Into the Stillness. The sun dipped low behind the mountains, casting golden streaks across the winding road as they finally arrived at Creek Resort. A hand-carved wooden sign greeted them. "Welcome to Stillness. Welcome to self." Beyond it lay a picturesque haven, pine trees swaying gently. The sound of rushing creek water and rustic cabins with smoke trailing from chimneys. "Okay," Shelly admitted, stepping out and stretching. "I'm not mad about this view." Kira spun in a circle, arms wide. "Tell me this isn't the most let them moment ever. I let go of my expectations, and we ended up here." Maria nodded toward a distant waterfall. "Let me just live here." Their cabin was everything Kira had promised and more. A cozy interior with soft lighting, vintage rugs, a working fireplace, and a jacuzzi on the back deck with a clear view of the stars. The air smelled like pine and possibilities. Inside the welcome packet, Kira found an itinerary titled Path to the Inner Citadel. Weekend workshops in applied Stoic living. Saturday morning. Sunrise reflection at the creek. Introduction to Stoicism, the 4 virtues. Group discussion, what truly belongs to us. Shelly raised an eyebrow. Sounds like therapy with a side of Socrates. Kira giggled. Better than tequila with a side of regret. Chapter 5. Stoicism by the Creek. They woke early to birdsong and creek chatter. Over breakfast in the resort's rustic dining hall, other attendees greeted them with warm smiles and peaceful eyes. The vibe was surprisingly uplifting. An older man with a white beard and kind eyes greeted their table. "Welcome. First retreat?" Kira beamed. "Totally accidental, but happy to be here." He laughed. "That's usually how the best things happen." At the Creekside Circle, a Stoic teacher began the session. "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. This weekend, we'll explore what it means to own your inner life and let go of what never truly belonged to you." Shelly leaned toward Maria. "That sounds suspiciously like Mel Robbins in a toga." Saturday afternoon, facing the inner self. One of the workshops explored the dichotomy of control, the core Stoic concept. Kira whispered during the discussion. "This is totally let them theory, just ancient." Maria nodded. "Yeah, like let them talk, let them judge. Because that's their stuff, not yours." The instructor asked. "Can you imagine the freedom that comes from releasing control over things you cannot command?" Shelly muttered, like Kira's Spotify playlists. Later that day, another session covered the 4 Stoic virtues. Wisdom, knowing what is within your control. Courage, doing what is right even when it's hard. Justice, treating others fairly. Temperance, choosing balance over excess. They journaled under tall trees, feet in the creek, sun warming their backs. Kira's prankster spirit even calmed as she scribbled, "Let them judge," while I remained still. Shelly, surprisingly quiet, wrote in hers, "Maybe I don't have to react to everything. Maybe peace isn't passive." Chapter 6. Reflections in the Firelight. That night, in the hot tub under a canopy of stars, the 3 friends sipped herbal tea and reflected. "Kira, you know what's wild? We came here by accident, but I feel like I found something I didn't know I lost." Maria, it's like I forgot what quiet felt like. Shelly, you guys are gonna laugh at me, but that let them thing? It makes more sense now. I keep trying to change people or fix things that aren't mine to fix. Maybe it's time I just let them be who they are and let me be who I am. Kira gasped, hand over heart. Who are you and what have you done with Shelly? Chapter 7. The Hike, the Heart, and Heading Home. They woke up early to hike a nearby trail led by a teacher named Lucy, who guided a silent walk in the woods. Along the way, she quoted Epictetus. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. They sat on rocks near the waterfall, eyes closed, listening to nothing and everything. On the way back to the cabin, Kira said, I think that's what Abraham Hicks means by alignment. When you stop chasing and start allowing. Maria smiled. And maybe the Stoics would call it virtue, doing the right thing in each moment with peace. Shelly, now in full reflection mode, added, or maybe it's just learning to get out of your own way. They packed up, hugged new friends, and took one last look at the creek before driving home. It was back to life, but something felt different. Nothing was quite the same. As they drove back into town, traffic picking up and the buzz of Monday looming, the car was quieter, not from tension, but from clarity. Maria looked out the window. You think we'll forget all this once work hits again? Kira shook her head. Not forget. But maybe now we remember faster. Shelly grinned. And maybe when I want to yell at Bob in accounting, I'll just let him. They all laughed. And in that laugh, free, real, and a little wiser, the mountain followed them home. The weekend was ending, but something new within them was just beginning. If this story spoke to you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember to click the bell so you always hear a new story. And if you know someone who could use this message, share it with them. Because sometimes, a simple story is all it takes to spark something real.